Okay, it's Biggles versus AimieW. I can only, I can only hope this is better than that last travesty that they sent me. Okay, good. Right, boom, things, stuff happening. Yep, good. GG. This is Biggles, top right. This is AimieW, bottom left. They're both Terran, and that's okay. So, both opening up with the cheeky wall. Interestingly, both of them choosing to wall the ramp against another Terran rather than wall the Reaper jump up point, but that, you know, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It does mean sometimes you can stop a very early SCV Scott, and Biggles apparently very keen to do that, spending that money early on an extra depot rather than gas. I don't know about that. I think I prefer AimieW's gas to the unnecessary depot. You know, you're not going to stop a Reaper, and it'd be a very early SCV coming in now. To be honest, if an SCV comes in at this point, I kind of don't care. That means somebody sent it immediately, and it's cost them some money to do that. This isn't in the right position. It's not touch it. There's a gap. Anyway, you know, normally what you do is you put your first buildings here so that Reapers can't get in. The Reapers jump up on this step because it's a double height jump from there. Okay. See, this is a ramp and then this is a ramp. It's double height. A Reaper can't get up a double height. It can't. Anyway, AimieW's SCV will not be able to get in. I've made my opinion on this sort of thing extremely clear in the past. Don't. You know, these three Marines could be your CC becoming an orbital, and you're not even building workers at this stage. Neither player. Thank you. You know, why have you stopped worker production? But seriously, cancel those three Marines and be building an orbital instead. An orbital has much more value than Marines in a queue. You know, that's horrible, isn't it? Horrible. 300 minerals you've got queued up. I mean, you know, that's almost a command center. AimieW more sensibly is building a command center and does not have a queue. So, you know, so far, like these seem, it sounds trivial, but these things just, you know, they add up, and after a couple of minutes, it can make a difference of 30 supply, all those little things. But you know, the not building workers is the #1 crime. You don't stop building workers. You don't. When you're in game, your supply's up in the top right. If you hover your mouse over that, it will tell you what how much of your supply is in workers. So it's a really quick way to check. And in general, if you want to go in general, you know, Terrans can actually get away with fewer workers than other races because they've also got mules. But in general, don't stop building until you've got 3 bases saturated. It would be my tip. You know, you'll see plenty of pros and stuff will build even more than that. And you know, Rainer, who plays Zerg, frequently goes up to about 100 and over 100 workers, which is a particular style of play. He just builds so many workers that he can afford to trade really inefficiently, and he just overwhelms his opponent by continuously just throwing 100 supply army at them, and then another and another and another. Oh, this is just going to be a massacre. Yeah, as soon as you see the bunker, just turn, run. Well, like you're not going to break a bunker with 5 Marines or whatever that was. Yeah, so in general, if I'm playing Terran, you know, typically between 70 and 80 workers is what I would go to before I'd even think about stopping building workers. So that is, you know, if you're looking to improve your StarCraft, that is the #1 thing that will make you better. Just don't stop building workers. Do not stop. Just continuously build those workers and keep an eye on your money, because if you're doing that, you'll find very quickly you've got a lot of money, and as you find yourself with a lot of money, build more production. But look, these are idle and this is idle, so not much happening here in Biggles land. Over here, we're doing a little bit better, but we're supply blocked. So actually we're supply blocked and only now the depot goes down, so it's going to be a while. Oh no, there must have been one in production, sorry, I do apologize. Yeah, so you know there's much more being built essentially here on this side of the map than the other. And we can see that is, you know, translates to both a worker lead and an army lead. You know, look at the income tabs here. It's just different. Twice as much gas and substantially more, 50% more minerals as well. So, you know, that equates to a win, is what happens. This siege tank in the back needs to come forward a little bit, but it is going to make this hard to engage. But do move the siege tank forward and siege it up. Oh, these Marines are going to come down at the right moment. Can they stim? Can they stim and snipe this tank? No stim, but they are going to be able to snipe the tank. I'd have preferred to see a bigger run-in. You know, when you see a tank sieging up, run right in close to it so that your Marines aren't having to rearrange themselves. So actually Biggles cleans that up very well indeed. And arguably AimieW could have done substantially better with the tank in a position to cover the ramp so that the Marines would take tank fire coming down the ramp. But look, no stim yet for Biggles, while stim is done for AimieW. And with a medevac out, you'd have to say that AimieW is likely to start putting on hurt. He's got more in the way of production. It's 3 racks compared to 2. So you know he can just essentially outproduce his opponent. He's got a better income. Let's just double check. The worker supply lead is still in his favor. Army supply has kind of evened out, but at least Biggles now is building workers 2 at a time, so that is important. But it seems to has stopped building Marines now. You know, the only circumstances under which that's okay is if you're going mech, but it doesn't look like he is with medevacs queued up and another racks coming down. So, you know, just keep building stuff. In StarCraft, people like micro. Micro is kind of arguably the fun bit. You know, you like to watch your units go into battle. You like to see them fight. This medevac getting separated off isn't a good thing. You don't know what's there. You haven't scanned ahead. You could walk into a pile of Marines and just shoot that down. You like to watch your, you know, it's all about the battle, isn't it? So people like to see the battle. They like to watch. So this scan might well convince Biggles that he's safe because all of this stuff is at home, but actually this is just waiting outside. Yeah, if there was 2 medevacs here, he could actually lift a substantial proportion of this. You know, a tank and 4 Marines in each medevac and just elevate her up into the main. But even with just what's here, without being sieged up, Biggles should be able to see this off. Now, AimieW is going to siege first, but I think Biggles can just walk. Oh no! Don't stay in the siege tank fire. You just need to back up out of that siege tank fire. So you know he's going to clean this up, but that was it wasn't a good trade. You know, Biggles had quite a lot more stuff, so I think that was 3 tanks traded for 2. Yeah, if you're late to siege up like that, your best bet is just back up, siege your tanks up, keep your Marines on hold position out of the range of the other player's siege tanks, and you know, let them come to you. Is this a drop coming in? Looks like it. So let's see. Oh no! Ouchies. So actually pretty efficient trading happening there. Yeah, pretty efficient. But where are we at? Army supply very equal, but again, AimieW still in the lead worker-wise, and his 3rd is done, whilst Biggles is still in construction. So let's take a look at the production tab. Only 1 in production there. So again, you know, keep those SCVs building, keep them going. As soon as you've got a saturated base, you know, build another one. It's as simple as that. And if you do that, you generally will win. You know, don't worry too much about all the trickery and the faffing about. Just keep building stuff. It is overwhelmingly the best way to win a game. So Biggles coming in. There, yeah, you can't really attack this. Oh, but AimieW unsieges. What? Unbelievable. Whoever sieges up first here is going to be in a strong position, but I think it's a bit too late now. There's just too much. So, yeah, I don't know about that unsiege. Like, I feel like I would have just sat there. As it turned out, anyway, he won pretty handily. But yeah, you couldn't walk into four sieged up siege tanks is just no. You know, under no circumstances do you try and walk into that, because you just die. Now he's got to be careful stimming forward here into this. Needs to focus on this siege tank if he can. Once that siege tank goes, I don't feel like there's a lot left for Biggles. You know, if these tanks can siege up, then this is very much all over, and it is. GG.